Okay. So yesterday what we did, we just started the first class first. Okay. So when we begin our class, we started to understand uh, from what is a computer, correct? Now we started with begin with no, what is a computer, and I told computer means it's an electronic device. It will take some input, do some calculations or processing, and then it will give you some output. It can be anything. It can be a computation, or it can be a graphics, or it can be a Excel, or whatever it is. Okay, basically it requires some input. It will process and it will give the output. That is called a computer. That is what the computer does. When we try to understand more, there are two types of computer, and the, the first one is client or the personal computer. The second one is the server computer. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir.
Yeah. So personal computer means you already know all the computer that we are using at our home. Either it is a laptop or a desktop, we call that as a personal computer. Server means we will not have the servers at home normally, because the servers will be kept in somewhere in the data center, in our offices or any other offices. Some applications will be hosted in that server, and that server will serve an application for us, correct? So whatever computers we have at our office or our home, so those are the client computer, because they always access some application. For example, I was talking about an application called Facebook and Instagram. So no matter the device, either the device is a laptop or a desktop or a mobile phone, when you try to access your profile, the same content is coming. The same profile picture will be there, same status will be there. Correct. Now, if you upload from your mobile phone, the same content will go to the, will be presented, either you open the website from the laptop or a desktop, because application is same, but the clients are different here. Maybe you are using on your phone or a laptop or a desktop, the content and the server and the application is same here. Only the end user, the devices, the client computers or the client devices is getting varied, that's all. Okay, so client means he always consumes an application. I was referring, correct? Na? Client means he's always a consumer. I also gave an example. You go to the hotel, you will order something. As soon as you go and sit in the hotel, a person will come and talk to you, and that person will call him as a server. Server means who serves some application, who serves some services to you, correct? When you go to the hotel, he will not serve you an application, but he will serve a service. That service is nothing but either idli, vada, or whatever, coffee, whatever you wanted, whatever you want to have, he will serve for you. So there, the person is a server, because he is serving the services to you, and you as a client, you go to the hotel, consume the services that you wanted, and you will come back, correct? So here the clients are getting vary. Same thing, the application is same, called Facebook. Maybe you log into your profile, you will get your content. When I log into my profile, I will get my content, correct? But the application is the same one. So this is what we were discussing about yesterday. So we discussed about the uh, computer, what is a client and what is a server, and how the client and the servers are interconnected. So the client and the servers are interconnected with the help of a network. So the network can be anything. Either the network can be a internet or intranet. Internet means anything that you are accessing over the internet. Like today you are taking the class, right? You are in the class, and I am sitting somewhere in the corner, and you are sitting somewhere in your home or in your village or wherever. With the help of the internet, we are able to communicate each other. So here the network is internet, correct? Na? The same thing goes when you are in the office. So there it won't be there internet won't be there. There you may have intranet means it is within your office network. Okay, that is called as intranet. We also call that as a LAN, local area network. Okay, so anything, the network can be anything, either it can be intranet or internet. Basically, to establish between a client and a server, you need to have some sort of communication, and that communication facility, we call it as internet or network or intranet. Okay, we discussed yesterday about this. Then we were also discussed about, is there a bifurcation? How can I understand by looking at a computer whether that computer is a client computer or a server computer. Is there any hardware specification? No. You cannot tell whether the computer is a server or a client by just by looking at the hardware, because the client and the server will be decided based on the operating system which runs inside the hardware. So I was telling you yesterday, operating system means it is a system software which will be installed on a computer. Okay, it will be installed on onto a hardware. As soon as install the operating system, then only the hardware will become computer. Otherwise, it's a hardware. That's all. Like I also gave an example. When the person is alive, we call him as a person, correct? Huh? If a person is dead, we call that as a body. Nobody will call a dead body as a person, correct? Now, because there is no life for that particular body. Same fashion goes for the computer also. If you don't have the operating system, we will never call that as a computer. We will call that as a hardware. When you install the operating system to that hardware, then that hardware will become the computer. Okay, then how do you identify whether my computer is a client or a server? It is based on the operating system which is running inside the computer. Okay, see here we have two types of operating system. One is client and the server operating system. When I say client operating system, there are 5 to 6 operating systems are there. So before XP we had many other, but I will start from Windows XP. So Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, 10 and 11. If you find any of this operating system in your computer, you can straight away call it as a client computer. Okay, instead of that, if you see other operating system like server operating system like Windows Server 2003 or Windows Server 2008, 12, 16, 19 or 22, any of this server operating system is present in your computer means you can call that as a server operating system. Okay, see graphics wise you don't see any difference when you log into the computer, especially for the Windows computer or Microsoft operating system related computer. You don't see the difference at all until and unless you go to the command prompt, okay, and type Windows version WinVer, then only you will understand, okay, my operating system is Windows 11. So when I say Windows 11, what is it, a client or a server operating system? Guys, is it a client or a Windows operating system? Yeah,
Clients.
it's a Windows 11 operating system that falls under the client operating system. Then I can tell, yes, my computer is a Windows client system or a client operating system. Okay, so this is how you will identify. So instead of Windows 11, if you would have seen Windows Server 2022, then you would have told, yes, this is a server operating system. Okay, you can convert your personal computer into a server, or you can even convert a server into a personal computer. Only the difference is you need to install the respective operating system. Okay, now I told you, without the operating system the computer is of no use. You cannot do anything. When you try to log in, it will only tell with a blank screen, and it will tell no operating system found, correct? Huh? Then you have a question. So I have a laptop, there is no operating system in it. How can I install the operating system? So we also discussed installation of the operating system can be done in multiple ways. The most traditional way of installing the operating system, that was using the CD and the DVD. So when we were there till Windows 8, Windows Vista, all those things, right? We used to get the operating system in the 700 MB disk CD. Okay, CD disk we used to get it because the operating system size was only 700 MB and below. Okay, so but nowadays all the operating systems are huge in size. So now instead of burning the images in the CD, we will use the DVD. Okay, so now as we are getting I mean getting modernized, we stopped using the CD and DVD. Okay, now people are moving towards USB pen drive because the pen drive goes up to terabyte wise, but the CD and DVD, it has got a very limited space. Correct? CD means it's only 700 MB, DVD means it is up to 4.2 GB. But if you nowadays the operating systems are like 6 GB, 7 GB operating systems are there. They will not be we will not be able to accommodate those images in the DVD because the DVD space is only 4.2 GB. Okay, that is why people are moving towards USB. So you can even use CD, DVD or USB or network drive booting also. And the last one is Windows deployment services. There are multiple services, applications are there to install the operating system in the bulk manner. See, either CD, USB or network, you can only boot one computer at a time. But sometimes you may have a less time and you may need to install more number of computers. Say for example, you need to install 500 computers. Tomorrow is the deadline, or maybe 2 days. You have only 2 days. A project is getting ramped up. Okay, so you need to complete installation of all the operating system for the 500 computers, and there are only 2 to 3 engineers are there, and each computer installation will take 15 to 20 minutes. Everything, installation of operating system, domain joining, post build activities, and granting access and handing over. Okay, so if that is the case, 3 engineers to install 500 operating system means it's a huge task. They may need at least 15 days of time if they do only three. Okay, even they do parallelly also, at least 2 weeks of time they required. So that's why when you have this kind of challenges, there is an option. There are a couple of no applications are there. They will help you to install the operating system bulkily. Like you can just create a group and add 500 computers. All the 500 computers will start installing parallelly. So within 15 to 20 minutes, you can complete the installation for all the 500 computers. That is possible using some applications. And we also have a service called Windows Deployment Service in Microsoft Windows. Okay, so using this Windows Deployment Service also we can do the installation. Okay, and then how to install and all, we yesterday draftedly, very quickly we did installation also, and today I'm going to explain you from the basics. Okay, this is what we discussed yesterday. So any question, guys? Any questions? No.
No, sir.
Okay, silence is no, thank you. And then today I will try to show you how to create this VMware workstation. What is this VMware workstation and all? Okay. Meantime, let me power on this virtual machine which we built yesterday. W10 was the computer which we built yesterday. Correct, na? Let me try to power on. Okay. So before we get into that, I would like to give little bit background about this VMware workstation. Okay. So this VMware means it is one of the technology in the current market. See, when we started with the information technology started, now that time the computers were very huge, means big in size, very small in configuration. As we were evolved, right, we started shrinking the size of the computer, physical size I'm talking about, and increase the capacity or the configuration of the computer. Correct, na? If you have come across, if you see the old laptops, Dell laptops and all, they at least 6 to 7 kg of one laptop was there. And configuration, if you look at like 2 GB RAM, okay, like 100 GB storage, correct, huh? And processor like Pentium 1, Pentium 2 processors are there. But nowadays, a mobile kind of a sort of a laptop has got terabytes of storage, GBs of memory, and like generation 10, generation 11, okay, our processors are there. So as we are trying to modernize, there are multiple technologies are evolved. So starting we had a physical servers, means physical servers means for one computer one device was there. Okay, then later, say for example, if you have an application, if you have an office, you had 100 computers. So to keep the 100 computers, you need a data center. Correct. Na? As your company grows, your business expanded, you started bringing more and more applications, okay, and more business started coming. You started adding the computers to your office. Then to keep this 100 computers, you need to have a data center. Correct? Huh? You need to have a data center. So if you add 50 more servers, you need to expand your data center also. Say for example, you have an office. You can only put 10 computers. There is no space. If you want to increase, if you want to add 5 more computer, either you need to change the office or you need to add additional space. Correct. Huh? So these kind of challenges, and then as soon as you increase the number of computers, you need to have additional power capacity. Correct. Now you need to increase the cooling system capacity of the AC, and you need to have additional resources to maintain the computers, the patching activity, etc., etc. Okay. So to come out of that challenges, that the technology gains. Okay, what they started to bringing a new technology called virtualization. Okay, virtualization means you have a big computer with, say for example, I have a single computer. So this computer has got, see, this computer has got 16 GB of memory. See here, my computer is installed with 16 GB memory. It's an i7 8th generation computer with 512 GB of SSD. Okay, storage is 512 GB is there, memory 16 GB is there. Okay, and I mean processor is i7 8th generation is there. So what I'm going to do, using this VMware or the virtualization software, I can convert my one physical computer into multiple computers by giving little bit memory, little bit storage, and little bit processor. See here, if you look at my DC01, I have created one computer. What I have done, out of 16 GB of memory, I have taken 4 GB of memory here and 2 processor, and out of 512 GB of SSD storage, I have taken 60 GB for this computer. So here 4 GB, here 4 GB, here 4 GB, and here 4 GB. Okay, so what I have done, one physical computer, using this VMware workstation, I have converted or I have created 4 more computers. And you see, all the computers are acting independently. See, I have powered on Windows 10. PC01 is shut down. ADC01 is shut down. DC01 also shut down. Okay, so what it will do, it will help you to control or administer the environment in a central place. If you want to see all the 100 computers you have, you don't need to log into each and every computer. Just go to this VMware workstation and you see all the available computers are here. See, VMware is there, DC is there, PC is there, ADC is there, W10 is there. You don't need to go to physical data center and check whether the computers are up and running. Just come here and you see W10 is powered on, rest all is powered off. So basically this VMware workstation will help you to create a computer within a computer. You are creating a computer within a computer. That is called as VMware workstation. Okay. So there are two types of workstations. I mean VMware are there. Type 1 and type 2. I'll explain you that in the future classes. But today, just to begin, okay, I will show you how to create a computer using the VMware workstation. Okay. See here, you can go to the home page, and when you go to the home page, you can see multiple options here. One is create a new virtual machine, open a virtual machine and connect to a remote server. Here I would like to create a new virtual machine. So I can click on create a new virtual machine here. As soon as I click on create a new virtual machine, it prompts you, it opens a wizard and it gives you two options. One is a typical, another one is custom. The typical one is always will have less options. It will automatically decides how much it is required and it will just allow. If I click on typical, it won't ask me anything. See, say next, 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 next. I'm not selecting anything and finish. Only 3-4 steps are there. That If I go on custom, it will give you plethora of options actually. Okay, click on custom and click on next. As soon as you click on next, it will give you the compatibility of this tool. I'm using VMware Workstation 17.x. See here, if I go to the help and if you go to the about VMware Workstation, see I'm using 17 Pro VMware Workstation 17 Pro 17.0.0, correct na? So my VMware Workstation version is 17. The same thing, as soon as I click on custom and if I go, it will tell you the compatibility or the limitation of the tool, or what is the maximum capacity of the 17.x support capacity, correct huh? See, it is 128 GB, 32 processors, 10 network adapters, 8 GB of disk and 8 GB of graphics. If you want more than 128 GB, then 17.x will not support. So this is the compatibility or the hardware support level it is explaining. You don't have to worry about it. Click on just next. Then from here onwards you have to keep it in mind. So here it is asking you to install the operating system and it is giving you three options. Would you like to go with installer disk? If you want to go, click on yes. Or if you want to install using an image file, click on this and select the image. What I am going to do here, I am selecting the third option. I will install the operating system later because I don't want to sit in front of the computer to say next, next, next. What I want to do, I wanted to do all the settings now only, and I will click on install and I'll go away. By the time I am back, coming back, it will be installed. It is a kind of unattended installation sort of thing. Okay, so I'll click on next. Here it gives you multiple operating system. You may heard Microsoft Windows operating system, Linux operating system, and VMware ESXi, okay, and other operating systems. We here in this course we will only teach you about the Microsoft Windows operating system because you are going to learn the infrastructure engineering. That means that is Windows operating systems only, okay? Because most of the peoples use Windows operating systems only. 99% of the companies they always use Microsoft Windows only, okay? So as soon as you click on Windows, Microsoft Windows, and here in the version pop down, if you click on, you will see all the available operating systems here. See, starting from below. See, Windows 3.1. You didn't even took birth when the Windows 3.1 launched, and 95, 98, ME, then 2000, Server 2000, Server 2003, 2008, Hypervisor. See, Hypervisor, Windows NT, and then Windows Professional, and then Windows XP. Windows XP came in 2002 or 2001. Okay, so 2000 it came, 2000 Professional. I think in 2003 Windows XP Professional came, and then Home Edition, Vista. Vista is a failure operating system, and Windows 7 is very successful. Windows 8 was very slightly used. Windows 10 and Windows 11 are the latest operating system we have in the market, and Microsoft is supporting in the client operating system. Okay, so let me select Windows 10. So I want to install Windows 10 operating system to the computer which is I'm trying to newly install now. So I will say next. If it is Linux, click on Linux and you will see multiple options here. You have SUSE Linux, your Red Hat Linux, your Ubuntu, your Turbo Linux, okay, and you have appliances also. See on the top, Debian, CentOS, everything is there. Okay, it depends on what you need. But in my case, I want to install Windows 10 operating system. Then I've selected Windows 10 and clicked on next. See, these options you are not getting in the previous one, but you are getting more. And it is asking a name. What you want to name your computer? I want to name uh, DC PC is there. Computer 1. Computer 1. Okay. I would like to name it as a computer 01. Okay. Say next. Then it is asking you to select the firmware type. See, we have two types of firmwares, BIOS and the UEFI. BIOS means it's a basic input output system, which is the legacy firmware type. UEFI means Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. That is the latest firmware. Firmware is nothing but it is a piece of software which will help to the hardware to communicate each other. Like it makes sure how much current should go to the processor, how much capacity of electricity to transfer to the memory. So that kind of communication will be happening in the firmware. Okay, as soon as you power on. So that is called as the firmware. We have two types, BIOS and UEFI. So BIOS means it is basic input output system. UEFI means unified extensible firmware interface. That is the latest one. Okay, you can select whatever you wanted, no matter. That won't have any impact. But UEFI is the latest one. Some new hardware will be supported, and UEFI will not be supported for the very older one. Okay. And see, it is asking me how many processor you want at number of processors. I'm selecting default. I don't want to make any changes because I only have two processors. I would like to leverage the same to my virtual machine also. Okay, if you want to change, you can. If your computer has got 10 CPU, you can put 10 CPU also here. But my computer has got only 2 CPUs, so I'm just putting 2. And see here, total have 16 GB maximum. Mark, see, maximum recommended memory is up to 16 GB is there, maximum capacity. It is asking you can give up to 13.4 GB, remaining 2.6 GB needed for the base machine. This computer, to run this computer, I need that much of memory. That's what it is telling. But for a better performance, you always go with 4 GB capacity. You can put 4 GB of memory. Okay, and click on next. Then this is network type, just go with the default. You don't need to worry. Logic, this one, I mean IO controllers also, just go with the default. Recommended, wherever you see recommended, you click on recommended and go. That's all. Okay, NVMe recommended. Then it is asking you, would you like to create a disk or you want to use the existing one? I don't have any existing disk, so I would like to create a new virtual disk. Click on next. And then it is asking, okay, you are creating, but how much GB you wanted? Recommended is 60 GB, 10 GB, but you can go up to 60 GB, no problem. So I will go 60 GB by default, and I would like to store this file as a single file. This one, see, normally when we go to the market, we will carry the bag. Why? Because when you took 10-15 items, it is not feasible to carry them to home without the bag. So to make it tangible or to make it easy to manage, you are storing all the 60 GB file into a single file. Otherwise, what happens? 10 GB 6 files will be there, or 60 GB 10 files will be there. When you want to move one place to another place, it's a difficult challenge, correct? Na? So that's why I'll keep it as a single file. Click on next, and see computer 1 I have created. This VMDK is virtual machine disk. VMDK means it is virtual machine disk. It is the extension of the VMware software to store a particular file. Okay, so I click on next and say finish. See, as soon as I finish, a new computer called computer 01, see, got created here. And you see, memory is 4 GB, processor is 2 GB, hard drive is 60 GB, CD I have not put. Okay, network adapter by default I went all the information, and I have stored this configuration file. See here, user welcome documents under the documents I put under the virtual machines computer 1 computer 01.mx. Okay, this VMX means virtual machine configuration file, we call it as VMX means .vmx means it's a configuration file of a VMware computer. Okay, people will ask what is VMDK, what is VMX. VMDK means virtual machine disk, VMX means virtual machine configuration file. Okay, so now if I power on this virtual machine, there is no operating system. We will see what the error comes. I'm trying to power on. I just clicked on the power on. See, it is trying network boot from Intel. It is not finding anything on the network operating system. So basically, when you power on the computer, so the computer it's an intelligent device actually. It will try to detect the operating system automatically. From where and all, it will try to detect from the CD, it will try to detect from the network, it will try to detect from the any other tool or pen drive. And finally, if it is not finding the operating system in all the above places, it will finally go and check in the hard drive. hard disk. If the operating system is already installed, from there it will boot. If it is not there, then it will say no operating system found. See, now the same thing is happening. It is trying to detect, it's trying to detect, but it is not getting any operating system. Why? Because it is a newly created computer. See, existing Intel PXE ROM, it says operating system not found. That's all. That is why I told you, computer without the operating system, it is of no use. It is like a dead body. Correct, na? So now, what we have to do, in order to give a life to the computer, we need to install the operating system. Okay. How to install the operating system? Using a CD, DVD, pen drive. Okay. Now, if you want to control this VM, you can just right click on this, on the tab computer 01, go to power, and you see multiple options. Now I would like to power off this one because I want to install the operating system using some CD DVD options. Okay. So now let me use CD option here. I'll go to use ISO image file, and then select Windows 10. I have already downloaded and kept actually, so I would like to install Windows 10. Click on open, click on OK. Now you see in the CD and DVD option, if you hover your mouse, you see using the file called d:/softwares, under that ISO images, under that Windows 10 64-bit September 2021.iso. So that particular image I have added. Now I don't do anything, I just added the CD. If I power on this virtual machine, this computer will automatically detect the presence of the operating system in the CD or DVD. It start booting from there. See, it detected. Now you see the Windows logo. See, yes. So it automatically detected the presence of the operating system. It is now booting from that particular CD and DVD. If it is USB, from there it will boot. If it is network, from there it will boot. So basically try to detect where in all 4 places: CD, DVD, pen drive, network, and any other services. That's all. See, the installation begins now. Click on next. You see the language. 99.9% of the time we always go with English United States. Okay, keyboard, language, time zone, everything. Time zone can be changed later. Okay, click on install now. Installation is very easy, guys. But being an engineer, you should know how to install the operating system. See, as soon as I click on install, it is asking me to add the license key for this operating system. So nothing comes free, na? So everything is chargeable, correct, right? So Microsoft has spent crores together or millions together of money to develop this operating system. So you have to enter the license key or the product key here in order to make it procured. Okay. If you don't have an operating system key, a product key, you below have an option called I don't have a product key. So this will go as a trial mode. Okay, and since we are doing the lab, it's okay to have a trial mode. Okay, so 180 days it works, that's okay, no problem, or pirated we call it as. So I don't have a product key. I click on I don't have a product key, then it will take me to the next screen, and it tells me, it is giving me multiple options. Within the Windows 10 we have multiple flavors. See, Windows 10 Home is there, Windows 10 Education is there, and Windows Professional is there. Okay, so since we are all going to work as a professionals and we are working for some companies, we should always go with the professional softwares. Compared to Home Edition, Professional is bigger, it is very secure, and performance is also nice. Okay, so better we always go with Windows 10 Pro. Okay, click on Professional and click on next. Now you need to select the license terms and conditions. When you have time, please read all these terms and conditions, okay, thoroughly, and accept the click on this I accept the license terms, click on next. Now we have 2 options here. One is upgrade, second one is install. Okay, so upgrade means you already have something and you are upgrading to the next version. Say for example, you have iPhone 14 and in the market 15 came. So what you can do, when you buy iPhone 15, when you already have 14, people will call that as an upgrade. When you are freshly buying a phone, iPhone, we call it as fresh buy, correct? Na? The same thing goes here. If you already have a Windows 10 operating system and if you want to make it Windows 11, then you can select upgrade option by inserting the Windows 11 CD. The operating system from Windows 10 to Windows 11 get upgraded without hampering your applications, without hampering your data. The version of the operating system will get changed when you say upgrade. So when you say custom, you are installing it freshly or reformatting it or reinstalling the operating system. That time you can select install the Windows only. And you see here, when you select the upgrade, install Windows and keep the files, settings and applications. This file or the settings and applications are moved to the Windows with this option. This option is only available when a supported version of Windows is already running on the computer. Means already a supported version is there. Then you can upgrade to the next version if it is supporting. The second option, if you read, the files, settings, and applications aren't moved to Windows with this option. If you want to make the changes to the partition and drives, start the computer using the installation disk, we recommend backing up your files before you continue. So, what happens here? It will format the existing data. C drive on your desktop, on your downloads folders, if you have kept something, and if you select the second option, it will clean up everything. You will not get the old data. So that's why they're asking you to take the backup. That's why when you are doing in the offices, if you are installing it freshly, that's okay. A new computer means not a problem, but when you are installing the operating system to an existing computer, okay, maybe some user will tell my computer is very slowness and it is giving some trouble, can you please reinstall it? That time you need to ask what are all the data that you need. So you need to take the backup of those data, or you need to tell the user to take the backup of his data and keep it in the OneDrive, okay, or whatever drive he has got. Okay, so now I will click on the second option called install Windows only. As soon as I click on this install Windows only, it will give me the total capacity of the disk. If you remember, I have given 60 GB drive, correct na? 60 GB recommended size I have given. So normally in your offices, if you have 60 GB, you will create 50 GB for C drive to install the operating system and remaining 10 GB for the data disk, like to keep the data and stuff. So how to create a partition? How can you convert one disk into two drives? Okay, that is called as partitioning. So you have an option called new here, click on. And I told you 50 GB C drive. So 1 GB means how many MB, guys?
1024 MB.
Yep. 1 GB means it is 1024 MB. Correct na? So 1024 into 50 GB. 50, it will be 51,200. Correct na? So if you put 51,200 MB here, 51,200 MB, you will create a drive of 50 GB. See, 50 GB, 50 GB, it's a primary partition. Remaining 10 GB, it is saying unallocated. Select this unallocated space and click on new, and you consume all the available 10,239 MB, okay, to make it another drive. See now, 50 GB one drive is there, another 10 GB one drive is there. So now we should always install the operating system on the first primary drive. If you look at the column called type here, first one is system, I cannot install and it is 50 MB. Second one is primary drive and it is a 50 GB. So I can install the OS to this 50 GB because this is my first primary drive. This is my C drive. Click on this 50 GB drive and click on next. That's all. Your installation start begins from here. So what happens? The getting files ready for installation, that will copy all the files from the pen drive or from the DVD 100% once it completes. Then it start installing the features. Then it will install the updates, and finally it finished up and computer get restarted. Okay, and once the computer get restarted, you will see this window. The window will come like this. Okay, then it is asking to select the region. Okay, so let me select the United States only for now. I click on yes, and the keyboard again it is United States only. Would you like to add a secondary keyboard? No, I can skip it. But all these options will not come in the real time. Okay, because in the real time at your office, whatever operating system you use now, it is a fine tuned operating system. Okay, you will never have all these options there. Okay, it will, the image that you are using at your office, it will after restart, once this 100% complete installing is done, it will get restarted. It will straight away ask you to enter the username and password. Okay, so that, I mean, a couple of steps are skipped there because this is a fresh installation. I mean, image that I have downloaded from the Microsoft website. That is why it is asking, and I want to show you this. This is how it looks. Okay, so it is asking me, would you like to go with the personal use or office use? I can select it for the personal use only here, since we are doing it the lab. In your office, you can enter the office. So then it is asking you to add your account, and here you can see an offline account. I will use offline account here. Click on offline account, and you can go with the limited experience. I don't need all this Cartona blah blah blah. And see, now it is asking me to enter a name. Okay, say for example I'm adding my name Sanju and click on next. Password at the rate 123. Okay, password at the rate 123 is the password. See, password at the rate 123, only P is capital, rest all is small. Okay, because the password that you are giving, it should be complex. It should have a capital letter, small letter, special character, and the numbers, and minimum eight character it should be there. That is why I have given password at the rate 123. So the password will be always a complex one. Okay, that is why password at the rate 123. Click on next. It is asking me to select some questions for a hint. I will randomly select some questions and answer will be A for that. Yeah. So installing it now. Created the profile. Now see, it is still 88%. Let that come, no problem. And here I don't want to browse anything except skip. Not now. Yeah. See, now I'm done. Now my profile is getting created. A new profile called Sanju is now created in the Windows W10 the computer. Okay, and I'll show you that. So when you are creating the profile or when you are trying to log into the computer for the first time, the computer will create a profile for you. Okay, it is not a quick one. It will take at least 1.5 minutes to create, because it should create a folder for you. It should create desktop, documents, downloads, and OneDrive, multiple other profiles, and the registry. Everything should get created. So it will take. It depends on the computer configuration. If you have more memory, more CPU, it will be faster. If you have 4 GB, it will take at least a minute. Okay. It is still taking some time. See, it is already restarted. It is 100% completed. W computer 01. It is getting restarted. By that time it will be completed. Wait, then I'll go here, computer 01. So it is restarted. To save the time, I actually created this W10 yesterday only, and we installed yesterday. Getting ready. Almost there. Yeah. See, now A computer, my Windows 10 computer got completely installed. You can see my desktop and the newly built computer, and go to the command prompt and see who am I. Just ask the computer who am I, okay, and it will tell who am I. See, it tells you are a person called Sanju, okay, and you are created in the computer called desktop hyphen AKU VQMK. This is a person called Sanju as logged in, okay. And what is the computer name? You can ask host name. If you type a command called host name and hit enter, see, this is the computer name, desktop hyphen AKU VQMK, the same thing here, whatever you can see here, the same thing it is showing here. And if you want to see the IP address of the computer, you have a command called ipconfig. See, your IP address is 192.168.230.164, okay, and your subnet mask is 255.255.0, and your default gateway is this one. So these three things are very important for a computer, okay, uh, to be present in the network. If you want to see, or if you want to have your computer over the network, you should have the IP address, subnet mask, and the default gateway presented in the computer. And next one is host name. So all these things we will discuss tomorrow in the, there are a couple of post build activities. So it is not, we just completed the installation, but we still have some post build checklists. Means before you hand over this computer to the production, so there are some checklists are there. What are all the checklists should be presented, we will discuss in tomorrow's class, okay. So it's still getting ready. So as soon as this computer get restarted, then it will ask you to select the region page, and then whatever we started from here, the same thing we started. Okay, so with this I think we can I will stop the recording, then I can take the questions if you have any. Okay.